Alright guys, so how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about my wrestling training. So yeah, I've been in and out of wrestling training since the start of 2020 now, and I've not really done it for longer than a month and a half. I started in 2020 with Hustle, which was down in Enfield in London. Does it still class as London? But it was in Enfield. And I was going there, obviously. Sid Skylar was running them classes. And right off the bat, I'm just going to say, without even going to any of the other schools, I reckon there ain't no other better trainers that you can get than Sid Skylar. I've noticed, especially from listening to other people's opinions and stuff, there are a lot of toxic wrestling schools out there, and not necessarily but because of the trainers themselves, but I've noticed that when there's a session going on, there is a lot of toxic students, may I say. Like chatting behind other students' backs when they're messing stuff up, gossiping and a lot of stuff like that. But when I was with Hustle, it was like everyone was a cohesive unit in the team, and everyone there was just trying to make everyone better. Like we did different stuff, so like we'd obviously do bumps and stuff, and I had loads of people coming up to me like, "Hey Ryan, like your bump was like really good, like you got a really good bump," and I was like, make me feel good about myself. But then there was also times like where we all tried going to the top rope and jumping off. I don't know if it was my anxiety or if it was just my general weakness, because with my job, I'm literally driving around London all day, and then when I come home, I'm tired, so I don't really do much exercise in a minute. I'm not actively in the gym at the minute, so my body's pretty weak. Plus, there was a period of like 3 or 4 years from when I was about 13 to about, no, it wasn't 13, sorry, it's when I was 16 to about 19, where I didn't even leave my house because I was in such a state of depression. So yeah, my body's probably not so strong at the minute. But yeah, I remember trying to attempt to climb the top rope and jump off it, but I couldn't even position myself to go on the top rope and stand up because, yeah, I just couldn't do it. I don't know if it was anxiety or weakness, but I just couldn't do it. But I remember the whole time trying, like everyone there just like cheering me on and sort of like trying to encourage me to basically do it, but when I couldn't do it, I wasn't made to feel bad, you know what I mean? And I spoke to Sid afterwards. I said, like, it's just this one hurdle I've got to get over, you know what I mean, is the anxiety. Because I think it might be anxiety, I don't know. But I said to him, it's the anxiety, and he even said, like, I know you can do it. He goes, but if it takes time, it takes time. And I was like really grateful for that, like he understood. Because when you're there, you're not pressured to do anything you don't want to do. If you do not want to do something and you don't feel comfortable doing it, he will not make you do it. I remember we was trying to do like the handstand sort of flip bump. And I said to him, I can't do handstand yet. I said, is it right if I just do the forward sort of roll into the bump? And he said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And I, like, after asking him this sort of stuff, the next time I knew that I couldn't do something, I weren't comfortable with it, I wasn't afraid to say, look, I don't feel comfortable doing it yet. Is it right if I just do it the more simple way until I build up that confidence? He said, yeah, it's fine. You are not made to do anything you don't want to do. So yeah, I'm hoping to go back to Hustle at some point this year. At the minute, my plan is to start improving my diet, because my diet at the minute is horrible with my job. Just eating like McDonald's, KFC, really bad stuff. And for my own health as well, like my guts, I just need to eat healthier. So yeah, I'm hoping to improve my diet. As soon as I get paid next, I'll be going straight to my local Asda and just buying general good stuff, for protein. Because what I roughly need to be doing is having around between 200 and 220 grams of protein a day. Currently at roughly 223 pounds. I know they roughly say 0.8 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So yeah, I'll be doing that. I'll be improving my diet, but also I'm gonna spend at least 12 weeks solid consistently in the gym and trying to notice a difference. People don't underestimate what you can do in 12 weeks, which is 3 months. It doesn't sound like you can do a lot in 3 months, but you really can. I've seen a lot of people transform their body in 12 weeks, and I know it takes a lot of hard work, but that's what I'm going to be putting in. My 26th birthday is in June, so I'm hoping at least before June I am back at Hustle, working my arse off to get in the ring. I may, after giving it a go, be like, yeah, this ain't for me. But I don't think I've given it a fair go to even make a decision like that yet. And obviously this is something I've wanted to do my whole life since I was a kid, since I started wrestling. I've at least wanted to have a match. Obviously my dream was to get to WWE. Maybe, you know, get on, most people want to get on TV, I don't. I want to win the WWE Championship. But that's going to take a lot of hard work, dedication and sacrifice, and I understand that. But I need to give it a proper try. So my plan is to, as soon as I get paid this month, straight shopping, improving my diet, and at least for 12 weeks solid gym. And I don't know if I'm going to include that as part of this series. I think I might make my sort of like gym transformation a different series and sort of coincide it with this, because this series is going to be strictly my pro wrestling journey, and I'm talking like in the ring. So I think what I might do is make the gym transformation a whole separate video and make the wrestling training its own series. So yeah, that's the plan so far. So I'm hoping between April and June is when I'm going to go back. Obviously the sooner I get back in there the better, because I'm hoping before my 27th birthday is when I have my first match in ring. Obviously this is personal goals, it might take a bit longer because obviously training, obviously people learn at different rates. Obviously I'm not the most athletic sort of type, so I think the in-ring stuff will come to me a bit slower. But I think there are other areas that I excel at in terms of like charisma and promos. I actually did a few online sessions with Sid. So online training, so like studying tapes, studying matches, practicing promos. I do have a few promos unpublished that I made for the purpose of studying and the purpose of the online training with Sid. I may release those at some point for you guys to see, just to see what I was like when I was cutting promos. But I do think that is the area I excel in, because obviously wrestling is a massive passion, and when I say passion, I mean I'm ecstatic about it. I'm so passionate about professional wrestling, and it's obviously something I wanted to do my whole life. It's been my saviour really, through my mental health problems and scares and my depression, my anxiety. Wrestling has always been the thing I've turned to for my happiness. And I remember my whole life my family just saying eventually like it's going to be a phase, he's going to get out of it, you know what I mean? But it's always been there. I've been watching wrestling now since 2005, so about 13 years. Is that about 13 years? No, it's longer than that. It's like 18 years. Yeah, about 18 years. So I haven't wavered a single bit. Wrestling has always been my life, and it will always be my life. That's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why I want to get in ring. Obviously I want to improve my health for my own personal reason, because I do have some health problems that I'm not going to get into. Obviously not life threatening, but my diet is a big part of these problems. So I do want to improve that. And as soon as I get back in a ring, then that's when this series is fully going to kickstart. I think the next 3 or 4 months is mainly going to be my gym series, like my training. You guys are going to see me training. You guys are going to see my body transformation. I'm going to be doing weekly like sort of check-ins. I'm going to do a weigh-in. Also want to get a body fat sort of caliper so I can see my body fat ratio, see if I'm, because the thing with weight is you can't always tell by the scale, because you could always be transforming from fat to muscle, and obviously fat and muscle are way different per gram, if that makes sense, from what I understand anyway. So I want to be measuring my body fat, because that's what I want to get down. I want to become more lean, obviously a lot more stronger. So yeah, within the next hopefully 12 to 16 weeks I will be back at Hustle, working with Sid on a Hustle to try and make my dreams come true. I'm hoping at some point I can get Johnny to come onto a call with me, and we can sort of discuss the training that we've had already in the past, some of the areas I sort of struggled with in the ring, and sort of where we can go forward. So I'm trying to talk to Sid right now, to try and get an interview with him technically, see if we can talk about the areas I was struggling in and where we can sort of improve some of my goals, etc. Who knows, I might be able to film my online training as well. I've also got to speak to Sid about that. But yeah, it's looking bright, and I'm very passionate about wrestling, and I'm very looking forward to what this series is going to turn into. Document my progress, and eventually hopefully documenting my first in-ring match. So on the back of that, I hope you guys do stick around. You're going to see a lot of I guess it's going to be interesting for wrestling fans in general who ain't even like trying to get into it, because it's going to be documenting what kind of training it takes. So hopefully it helps a few people out as well who may be interested, or just people who just want to know what it's like to train, what kind of training it takes to become a professional wrestler, or even have a professional wrestling match. So I hope you guys do stick around. Obviously I'm going to be doing this series, I'm going to be covering wrestling, hopefully doing a few interviews. It's literally going to be every kind of wrestling video you can imagine. So I hope you guys do stick around. And I'm looking forward to the ride with you guys, so it would really mean a lot to me if you could subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.